can't sit silent in our gifts. The world needs what you have.
She taught us to grieve like a child. And then we had, the dream like a child message, I mean, there's a theme here, Tracey.
I know.
There's a theme here.
It's really beautiful. And then we had Nubia, who closed out the day with her awakening healing and, just took us to a beautiful breath moment, which I loved. And that wasn't planned, but I just felt like, let's bring this into everybody and give ourselves that.
We all needed it at that point. We really did. And it was a great moment.
The stillness was so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So we have 7 powerful speakers coming on today. We have an incredible woman starting and kicking us off. Why don't you share with this beautiful community today, Jen, what Angeline is all about?
Let's do it. So Angelina Mitchell is the heart and soul behind Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. With a personal journey that fuels her mission, she's here to guide women from the shadows of domestic abuse into the light of self-empowerment and communal healing. Angeline's vision, a stigma-free world where survivors thrive together, rewriting their stories with hope and endless possibility. Let's warmly welcome the change maker, Angeline, from breakdown to a breakthrough.
Woohoo! Okay. We got Angeline and Tracey in the house. This is a rapid fire moment. Angeline, are you ready for rapid fire today?
I am ready for rapid fire.
Amazing. I'm so pumped. Okay. So I'm going to ask you 25 questions, rapid answers. If you can't think of a quick one, you're going to pass. And your goal is to not pass and get through them as fast as you can. Cool?
Cool.
Amazing. Okay. I'm going to count you down from 5 and then we're going to go. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is your bed made right now?
Yes.
If you could afford any car, which one would you drive?
I would drive a Porsche.
Have you ever written a song for someone?
No, I haven't.
What is the last craft you made?
I made a candle.
What is one thing you regret spending money on?
Spending money on my divorce.
What movie do you enjoy quoting the most?
Gone with the Wind.
If you could be transformed into one animal, which one would it be?
The lion.
Who is your hero?
My hero is Tony Bennett.
Where did you go on your last vacation?
Chicago, Illinois.
What is your go-to pastime activity?
My go-to pastime activity would be podcasting.
What is your favorite subject in school? What was your favorite subject in school?
Math.
Where did you grow up?
Minnesota.
Where do you live now?
New York.
What is your favorite body part?
That's a good question. My butt.
What is your favorite word in another language?
Yasu.
What is your favorite dessert?
Creme brulee.
What is your favorite breakfast?
Oatmeal with berries.
If you had to change your first name, what would you change it to?
Angelica.
Street smarts or book smarts?
Street smart.
Learn by watching or learn by doing?
Learn by doing.
Fresh food or fried food?
Fresh food.
Are you more cautious or bold?
Bold.
Cannonball into the pool or dip a toe in first?
Dip a toe in first.
Would you rather sleep in late or take a long nap midday?
Long nap midday.
What makes you hopeful?
My vision.
Woo! Rapid fire complete. Nice job. Love it. Amazing. It was pretty cool, eh?
That was cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
So much fun. Amazing. I love it. I love it. I love getting to know you ladies on this fun level. Thanks for being such a good sport, Angeline. You are amazing. Thanks for joining Rapid Fire.
Thank you, Tracey. Oh my God.
okay? Because I feel your energy every time we talk. I freaking
Thank you.
love you. Oh, this is amazing. How are you feeling?
Feeling refreshed, recharged, had a great night's sleep. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Ready to rock. So good.
Fired up, pumped up. How's that?
You guys are in for a treat. This woman, I mean, honestly, you are so friggin' passionate. You ooze passion. You ooze it. Passion for your purpose, passion for helping people, passion for showing up and just continuing to push through and breaking down all the barriers that keep showing up. You really are unstoppable. You're incredible. And I'm just so blessed that I met you.
I am blessed that we met too. And I remember when we talked about this in June, and this was right after I came back from Chicago, I said, you know what? I'm all in. I made the investment in myself because I know what it takes to get out of your own damn way. I know what it feels like. Going through the throes of a divorce, going through half of my adult life with domestic violence and feeling ashamed, and things just spiraled downward for me. I was married basically half of my adult life.
Wow.
Yeah, at 25.
And you know what? Your story, that defining moment where you really this, I guess you were downloaded with an idea to do this, you grabbed your phone and you did something I wonder if you even had control over that moment. It was like it was decided for you and you just literally leaned into it and did something that was very, very courageous. And can you share with all these incredible women, because I know these are the kind of moments that we need to hear, because we can resonate with them in our own lives in our own way to help us find our courage to say, I'm going to do this. So share your story. Share what happened in that moment, Angeline.
Yes, what happened in that moment was I hired a mentor back in 2017 because I was still struggling with breaking through my self-limiting beliefs, even though I broke free from domestic violence 14 and a half years ago, which I'm very proud of, because people, once upon a time, I was married who I thought was the love of my life, and we earned six-figure income in New York City. So, and I was the one who brought in the money. But then one day, he physically abused me. I was in the hospital. I had to have reconstructive nose surgery. And I felt ashamed to share my story. I felt ashamed. And that pivoting moment for me when I hired my mentor, he said, you know what, you're close to your breakthrough. However, you have not shared your story with the world on Facebook Live. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I said I could do that, and I used to be the biggest chicken of going live on Facebook, because at that time we didn't have, all these social media platforms. So what I did was, in March, I took my phone and hit live and shared my story of how I went from victim to claiming victory in my life from domestic violence. And at that moment in time, the live went viral. 7 million views later. That means 7 million people were impacted with my story, because it was brutal. I went through a breakdown. When I tell you that things spiraled downwards, I lost money. I was nearly financially bankrupt. He wrote out balance transfer checks against our credit, because it was in both names, so he could buy mutual funds, $50,000 worth. So I found myself in a really, really bad, dark place 14 and a half years ago. I had every reason to give up, to, just play the pity party, and I did have a pity party. I curled up in bed. I mean, I was literally curled up in bed. I'm saying, what do I do? What do I do? And I was so afraid. I felt so ashamed. So I woke up one morning with an epiphany. I called my attorney, which a good friend of mine recommended, and I drove down to her office and wrote out a check for $5,000 to start divorce proceedings. That was the pivoting moment for me. When I wrote out that check and shared my story on Facebook, because guess what? People are looking for hope, especially women. As women, we need to rise up. And it took a lot of faith and belief. I prayed. I turned to God for guidance. Just think about it for a minute. Just think about it. You can only be in survival mode, in victim mode for so long. So I finally rose up. I surrendered. I said, screw this. And I wrote out a check against my own credit card because I had a credit card in my own name. So I said, I'm just going to write out the check and that's it. I had no money. I had like $25 in my purse, enough to get me down to Poughkeepsie, New York, because I used to live in Rhinebeck. So it was a 20-minute drive for me. But and even though I was broke and I was homeless, I was literally living like a gypsy for 1 year. I shared my story with the world because I said, someone needs to hear this. Because I'm always been passionate about helping women find their voice, to amplify their voice. So that pivoting moment for me, 7 million views later, my live went all over the world. It went to the United Kingdom, South Africa, Europe, the US. It was viral. I don't even remember how many shares I had on that live. It probably was, I would say, 10,000 shares. Because when I woke up the next morning, I was shaking. And you're talking to a person here who was afraid to go live. You're talking to a person who was shaking. You know how it is, like when you hold the camera. And I had no tripod at the time because it was just that block that I had, but whatever. So imagine holding your camera, looking at the camera. I'm shaking. I'm sharing my story. And there's over 100 people on my Facebook page already watching my live because it just went ding, 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 ding. People shared it out. It's that ripple effect. That live had such a ripple effect. And the best investment that I made was paying my mentor $2,000. And I was working in corporate America at the time. So I used my paycheck, my bonus check, to do that. So you see what happens? You see what happens?
This is one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard. And it is going to give so many people hope beyond belief. And understanding you're not meant to go through anything in life alone. You're not meant to celebrate alone. You're not meant to deal with grief alone. You're not meant to go through the challenges that you went through by yourself. We are not meant to, and not just are we not meant to, we can't. And you were guided to that mentor. That mentor was in your life to give you that challenge. You took it on, and look what happened. And now, not only in that moment, but since then, you're now helping hundreds of women get through and break their breakdown and create their breakthrough and get out of victimhood and be victorious. Like, I freaking love you. Oh,
I freaking love you for having me here.
So powerful. Like, you're so incredible. Woo!
Woo!
Use our voice. Look what your voice did. Look what your voice did to help. Like, this is what, this is what the world needs. The world needs the stuff we don't think is good enough to offer or even share. How can we even think we know that? Like, we have to just take a chance on ourselves, and you took a chance on you. Like, you could have stayed homeless. You could have, all these things could have happened, but you had something rooted in you that was like, no. And one person changed your life.
That's right. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Woo.
Making that investment in yourself. And I invested my bonus check, by the way. That was $2,000 that I just said, I'm going to put back into myself and pour all of that investment into myself, because my mentor knew that my breakthrough was around the corner. He knew it.
Yeah.
He knew it. He says, your breakthrough is around the corner.
He felt it because you wanted it so bad. You wanted it so bad.
When you want something so bad, you will get it. You will achieve it no matter what. Because I suffered financial devastation. And I was addicted to suffering for way too long. Because that's like the human condition. Especially for, women who are going through domestic violence. They are addicted to suffering. So this is what I did. When you're sick and tired of being the victim, there's something inside of you that is going to break through, because they've been conditioned to feel worthless.
Mm-hmm.
They've already been conditioned to, lack of self-worth, self-confidence. I mean, literally, these ladies have been pounded down to the ground. They've been pounded down to the ground. But unless so for me, see, I wanted change, and I wanted to get out in the first place.
Right. You had a very strong desire.
Yeah. Right. That was motivation for me.
So how do we build up? So okay, we recognize this is the situation we're in. We recognize it. We're addicted to these emotions. Okay, so we have awareness. We're willing to accept that is our current circumstances, right? So because sometimes we don't want to even acknowledge that is our current circumstances. And until you acknowledge that and find, like, you actually look at yourself and go, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Like, I need to be honest with myself, direct, loving, and honest. Now, as a woman, what do we do next, Angeline? Like, how do we start to build our life back up? Where do we go? Like, dealing with the fears. The fear must be acute fear, but knowing that you took faith and it overcame your fear, how do you help women do that?
Well, I help women through self-discovery. It's a process. And for myself, so through all these years, so let's fast forward to now. I have invested over $50,000 in myself in personal development, personal growth. And I recently got my life coaching certification from the ACLU. So basically, I took the bull by the horns and I said, I'm just going to surrender and I am going to put in the work. And 14 and a half years ago, I aligned myself with mentors and coaches who believed in me. I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful for that. And I decided to build a side hustle for myself. At that time, it was in the health and fitness industry. And my coach who brought me on was very supportive of my story and everything. So I did what I had to do. I built my business behind the scenes because I wanted it. The alternative is to feel sorry for yourself and not do anything. That is the worst thing you can do. So I invested in personal growth, personal development. A year later, after the divorce became final, 1 month later, I flew to Los Angeles, California for a summit. I can tell you that was life-changing. I met MJ Durkin. I met so many great people. And it was like, and I had a blast. And I said, you know what? I can live on my own and support myself. And to this day, I am financially independent, and I have a course, that a membership program for domestic violence survivors, because I want to help them move into healing, move from that lost, depressed, overwhelmed into healing and empowerment, and thrive, healing together, thriving forever. I mean, I can tell you, it's a journey, a self-discovery journey. You learn a lot about yourself. Oh boy, yeah, I realized that I could go out to dinner by myself. I could go out on a date by myself. I don't need a man to make me happy. Love on yourself. That's the biggest thing. Loving on you, because when you love yourself, you are able to love others. Right. The worst thing you can do is feel sorry for yourself. And I did that. I mean, that was for too many years. But anyways, yes, that is the worst thing you can do, is feel sorry for yourself and just curl up in the bed and wait for things to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. You have to put in the work. I had to break through those self-limiting beliefs. I had to do mirror work. I mean, you have no idea what I had to do. I mean, I'm sure you do, but breaking through that self-limiting belief. Mm-hmm. And once I was able to do that and share my story, the world of abundance opens up. Mm-hmm. Everything opens up, and you attract all the good in your life, because like attracts like. If you're putting out negative to the universe, you're going to attract negative people in your life. When you put out good and you're giving, in terms of, you give more than you receive. So when you give to people, it comes back. It's a ripple effect.
It is a ripple effect. Okay. So what I'm hearing from you, what got you out of your circumstances was being open to receiving the support, open to asking and then receiving support from another person who was brought to you to support you. Without that, you probably would still be in that same situation, or it could be worse. And I recognize the power of that, and you've stepped into now serving women to support them, because you believe nobody should be stuck in those situations. And that is like, talk about like you talk about your life force, talk about, like using something for the greater good. And when it comes to, okay, a situation right now, so going back to that moment where you didn't think you had a choice, what is one thing you would say to those women right now who are in an abusive relationship, who want out, who probably feel shame and blame, maybe they have children in that relationship, who knows? What would you say to that woman right now that's facing you, looking at you in her eyes? What would you share with her?
Well, I would share with her my story, and then I would share that there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And in fact, there was a woman, this is right when COVID hit, and I started my podcast 2 months before, not knowing that COVID would happen. A woman reached out to me, and she was crying. She felt helpless and crying. And then finally she calmed down. And, I'm the type of coach who tells it straight up. And I tell it straight out. I don't beat around the bush. There's no fluff. Okay. You kind of have to like play the doctor a little bit and get dive deep into what's causing them to feel this way.
Yes.
So a month later, I said, there is a homeless shelter in New York City. I used to live in New York City. I worked in New York City. I earned 6-figure income. I went through the throes of divorce in New York City, which is not easy because the court system is whatever it is. It is what it is. But I did tell her, there are resources. Go to your local office. Go to and she did. She did it.
Yes.
I ignored
Give
her.
her direction.
I gave her direction because
Yes.
ladies,
Yes.
they come, like, people come to me. You have no idea. Okay, so people come to me and ask me, what do I do?
Right. This is it. We need all your freaking direction. I needed it. That's how
Right, I have to get, I'm very good at giving directives, but you have to give me direction.
Yes. Yes. You and what was there for her was always there. She just couldn't freaking see it because she was so stuck in her victimhood and shame and blame and all the negative stuff was overpowering her every day. She couldn't see what was right there for her to help pull her out. So you directed her. Wow.
That's right. I directed her all
Oh,
right.
so amazing, Angeline. I freaking love you. You like, I just can't wait to stay close to you and the voice to the voiceless. You gave a voice to the voiceless with that woman. She realized she had a choice. And she always has a choice. And I think when you finally realize that and you try out using your voice, using your choice, what happens? You get it, you experience something you didn't experience before, and it gives you more hope.
Right, exactly. So now she escaped, and she has a child too. So she escaped. I think they found like a studio apartment for her. You know what? I said, you have a roof over your head. So you see that?
Wow.
Because she came to me for help.
And that's self-worth, that's self-esteem, that's confidence.
It just shot way up. And then she goes, I want you to speak in front of all these ladies now. Like, she was great. That was her breakthrough.
Oh.
And look at me now. I mean, next week, 1 week from today, I'm going to be on a plane to San Diego, flying to San Diego for a women's conference. And I am a co-author of a book series that is going to be released, God willing, next week or the week after. It is going out to 30 countries.
Angeline, stay connected to this woman. I'm telling you, people, and stay connected in this group. Remember, this group, Get Out of Her Damn Way, is not disintegrating from this summit. This is just the beginning of building the biggest women's circle that Angeline and I have our hands locked, and we're supporting all of you, right, Angeline? Like, we're in this to win this for you beautiful souls. If you want to join Angeline right now, get into the breakout room. Angeline is there. She's going to hold space for you. She's going to answer questions for you. The link is in the group, the Facebook group. Grab it. Go see her. Angeline, I love you. I appreciate you. I am so grateful for this new friendship we have. And I'm just grateful for just what you do every single day. Thank you.
I'm grateful for you, Tracey. Thank you.